All right. Hey, everybody. We are live with Alex Hill from Wellington, New Zealand. Alex, welcome to the Action for Assange, Free Assange Vigil. Tell us about what you guys are doing today.
Right, well, we had a protest yesterday with the Socialist Equality Group, New Zealand, who've been very supportive for our campaign, but we didn't really want a partisan protest, so we decided to do our protest today on the day that everyone was doing them. So right now we're at Parliament, which we call the beehive because it looks a little bit like a beehive. And we're at Parliament at the moment, and in Auckland at the moment there is the British High Commission, the British Consulate, sorry, and same time, 12 noon. So we are literally kicking off the day's events for the whole world, and it feels a little bit like, you know, having collected all those events to list, it's kind of a little bit like New Zealand steering the world from the back end. A little bit, it feels like that, and it's great that we are the first to see the light, so I guess it's kind of appropriate that we're kind of gathering as many cities and listing them as possible. So that's been my focus. I haven't had an awful lot of focus on doing the Wellington event, so I'm hoping that I'm going to give someone that role today.
Awesome. Alex, what are you expecting to happen this week with Julian's extradition hearing? Do you have any predictions or any feelings on it?
Well, I do feel like the mood has changed. Can we move away because I'm hardly hearing what's going on? I do feel like the landscape has very much changed. I feel like the doctors have made a massive difference, and that's fine. The doctors have made a massive difference. Nikki Hager's 1,200 journalists, including Chris Hedges, John Pilger, Noam Chomsky, Daniel Ellsberg. It's just an incredible list of thinkers, and if anyone can ignore that, and the doctors, I just don't know. We've also got lawyers who are beginning to write statements as well about how lawless this is and how we are literally throwing out laws, international laws that were laid down during the World Wars. So this is a real concern, throwing away people's asylum, kidnapping them, and then holding them without charge in a maximum security prison. I can't understand how UK can continue like that. Especially seeing, I don't know if anyone's heard about the numbers, but we're talking 20, 30,000 at least, I think, at the end of that March. It looked huge. Maybe it was less than that, but it just looked so impressive in terms of turnout. I was really, really heartwarmed to see that. This week, I think what's interesting now is that some new information has been raised, and we're promised that we're going to get a whole lot of new information. We're going to start to see the legal strategy. And my feeling is that the Queen, having pardoned Assange essentially by saying it's too political for me to comment, she's actually done him a fantastic favour by not commenting. But also we've got other moves being made as well, so that are similar. We've got, you know, the lawyers last week at the hearing releasing this information about Julian Assange and how he was offered a pardon. And of course, the media is misrepresenting that. They would, because it's like Russiagate 3.0. But I really feel that's, again, another sort of indication that we've got two massive pieces of evidence that, you know, it's just obvious, really.
Yeah, so the Queen of England wrote a response back to a Free Assange supporter, essentially saying that she would not get involved in the case because it was a political case. And as you and I both know, and I'm sure some of the viewers do, the US and the UK have a treaty on extradition, and it says that a political prisoner or somebody who's accused of a political crime cannot be extradited.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's an open and shut case for most people, but if you need more, there is more. We have no legal meetings with privacy, you know, that's just fundamental, isn't it? We have all of his materials being stolen. We have the fact that he can't even access his own records to have a defense, and that he can't access his lawyers for more than a few hours to talk about thousands of pages of documents. So I think that is another key issue that I think we're going to see some movement on, but I'm no political expert. I've read a lot about this, but really my only emphasis of doing all this is because of my kids and me wanting them not to be handed this terrible, terrible disaster, stepping off a cliff. It's going to be very hard to come back, just like Brian, you know, said.
Exactly. So you've been doing events in New Zealand for a while now. Have you seen support for Julian grow since you started?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, anyone you talk to on the streets now, I mean, aside from occasional, what would I call, without being rude, weaponized Me Too, and the odd military elderly gentleman who kind of freaks out about the privacy thing for the government. I have found no one who's been informed of the facts and have gone, no, I still don't want to. So really, it's very encouraging. I've only really been doing this probably about 2 years now, almost. I've seen incredible change in heart of people. And I haven't really put that much focus into getting people here because that's not really my thing. What I really felt like I wanted to do was publicize the world things because the media was doing such a bad job. Aside from you guys, of course, you're not really the old media, are you?
Thank you.
But
yeah, Alex, I don't know if
my most valuable skill to be using.
Yeah. Alex Hills is the mastermind behind Candles for Assange. Can you tell us a little bit about why you started Candles for Assange and how you're keeping track? Because there are just so many events happening today specifically, but it kind of started around Julian's birthday.
Well, it actually officially started his 47th birthday. Me and Greg, who's speaking in the moment behind us, me and Greg decided that a petition, an emergency, very quick fire petition to the Parliament to ask for New Zealand to offer Julian asylum here, because New Zealand traditionally used to stand up for the little guy. You know, if you think about women's right to vote, women in university, homosexuality being legalised, if you talk about nuclear protests and protesting the French bombing, you know, New Zealand always were these people that stood up, and that's why I was quite proud. I'm British, Australian and Kiwi, and I was really delighted to be able to move here because I've got very low respect for Australia and Britain at the moment. In fact, I'm on the edge of wanting to burn my 2 passports. But I mean, New Zealand was a little bit disappointing too, because the whole reason I originally got into it was I saw no one was doing a protest here, and that's why I had to step up.
Yeah.
But basically what happened is on his 47th birthday, we announced that we were going to start this asylum petition. And just over there's a viral image you might remember in front of the beehive of candles saying Free Assange. Well, we got well known for that, so we got a little bit of a position. So the following year, we just said, oh, we're going to do the same thing again, only this time at the US Embassy. Please, world, join us for a free press protest on Julian's birthday, a birthday vigil, Candles for Assange, hashtag. And basically, it went completely mental. I think there was only like 2.5 weeks from when I said that to the event. And within a week, it was 50 cities, and within 2 weeks, it was 62. And I was completely overwhelmed, and also sleepless nights, a bit like the last few days, trying to kind of feel like I can't let it down. Now I've said I'm going to do it. There's so many events coming, and I'm going to have to try and list them somehow and keep on top of it. But it has been a challenge to do that because, of course, there's lots of easy mistakes to make, and you don't really understand some of the languages. So
yes, I understand that. Yeah. And you are a musician who has used music as a form of your activism. Can you tell us?
Yeah.
I know you've been a guest before and we've talked about this and you've played on our show, but can you talk again about why you incorporated your music into activism for Julian Assange?
Well, I just had someone come up and tell me that Julian Assange is the new Nelson Mandela, open and shut case, you know. And if we think about how Nelson Mandela got freed, I think that music played an amazing role in that, don't you?
Definitely.
You know, we all remember that song, Free, you know, Nelson Mandela. We tried to sing it yesterday, actually, with Julian Assange put in instead. But yeah, so we've got that. We've got Band-Aid. We've got music. What it does is it makes you inherently look peaceful. It's very hard to corrupt a candle display. It's very hard to make it look like we're violent if I've got a violin out. Even if I was intimidating that policeman that time, playing right in his face, it was only because he was interrupting us. And it was difficult for him to get angry at me because I'm playing a violin. So you've got a kind of a little bit more of a poetic license, whereas most protesters find that they eventually get corrupted with someone who wants to be violent and cause problems for the movement. But somehow the music and the candles, it just keeps it the peaceful vibe. It keeps it, we're not trying to make any trouble. We're just trying to inform people. And yeah, I think music has the power to heal. And it has the power to cut through to people who wouldn't normally be exposed to that message.
Yeah, and one of your songs that you played in pubs, Politics in the Pub last year, Christine Assange actually sent to Julian, and he got to see that.
Well, yes, that's an interesting story, because the reason that I thought suddenly that I could be more powerful than I was, just sharing stuff on social media, is because I saw Alex Taylor in London, obscure he is on Twitter. I saw Alex Taylor with a violin being arrested outside the Ecuadorian Embassy on Australia Day. He's Australian and his violin, I think, temporarily confiscated from the armed task force. And when I saw that, and it went through the entire mainstream media because it was so outrageous, I thought, my God, I can play violin. I could use my violin to get through, maybe just doing some crazy stuff with my violin. And then my best friend and I are quite musical, and he and I came up with that song one day, and literally we jammed it out and put it on Unity 4J, the very first cut with the Muppets playing the drums.
That was an amazing song.
Yeah, so anyway, Alex Taylor, he wrote a song with his violin, and a beautiful singer called Maria Milwaukee. I don't know how to possibly pronounce it. She's got a beautiful haunting voice. And we produced a song called Let the Light In. It was a kind of Christmas edition WikiLeaks release. And it went nuts. I mean, like, I don't know how many people, but really great. And yeah, so I was playing Walking Matilda at that pub. So it wasn't my song, but it was kind of a homage both to Alex Taylor for what he did and stood for, but also, you know, a message to Julian, of course. And I was absolutely overwhelmed that Christine wanted to send that to him. So I think, you know, I feel like if he did get that USB stick before when he was in the embassy, he might have been one of the last things he got to see before.
It's true. Yeah, and your song "Let the Light In"
personally is an amazing kind of life moment. I kind of think I broke down in tears when I saw that tweet.
Definitely.
It was very emotional. Yeah.
And yeah, your song "Let the Light In" was a huge hit, not only for people that were following Unity for J at the time, but it just seemed to really touch a lot of people in the movement.
Yeah, and Kathy
really
Bogan, she saw it, and I had done a sort of mediocre job of a video edit. It was really one of my first ones. And Kathy Bogan loved the song so much, and my second violin part from New Zealand, we called it the Trans Hemisphere Violin Duet. But yeah, so she loved it so much that she, as an academic in film, made a really beautiful recut of it. And she used bits of my stuff too, but she just kind of made it better.
Lovely. Well, Alex Hill, I will let you get back to your event. Thank you so much for joining us.
No worries. Thank you for what you guys do. You're amazing.
Thank you. And everybody, we are going to be streaming as many events as we can this evening and into tomorrow. Andrew Smith, Steve Poikinen, and myself, Christy Doff, we will be in DC. We're starting out at the White House, and we're going to march to the DOJ.
Yay!
So if you are in the DC area, come on down and join us. We're going to start off at noon tomorrow. And then we will be streaming and working with Taylor Hudak, who is in London covering the events. So yeah, Alex Hill, thanks so much. And if you have any last words, just let us know where we can follow you and anything else.
Okay, so my main Twitter account is Greenweaver Arch, because that's my business, believe it or not. That wasn't meant to be an activist account. But the ones I'm using the most for the campaign now are Candles for Assange, with the number, Candles for Assange. I've actually just started rat bags for Assange, just as a little personal joke. But yeah, and then on Facebook, I'm Alex Hills, and on YouTube, I'm Alex Hills. And there's a whole bunch of music. I did a rogue speech in Parliament for the World Press Freedom Breakfast on 3rd of May, and that was a bit of a coup too, because I don't think the British High Commissioner was expecting that, and it was quite a nice panel of people. So yeah, okay, I'm talking too much.
No, you're fine. Thank you so much. Have a great action and have a great day.
Thank you so much for what you do again. Yeah, cheers. Let me go.